Out of today's 7 billion people in our population, it is 2 billion people that are now social media users. With constant messaging, calls, likes, shares and tweets, is our world becoming too obsessed with social media? Today I'm interviewing 17-year-old Millie Coker about her social media experiences. Millie, on average, how much time would you say you spend on social media each day?
All in all, I reckon there's at least 5 to 6 hours of my day that is just spent on social media. But yeah.
Do you think you are addicted to your phone or social media?
Yeah, I definitely am, especially if I'm not with my phone for very long. But it's definitely something that I can adapt to. So if I go on holiday and I don't have my phone or I don't have internet connection, I get really angry, but I deal with it.
And at what age did you get your first social media account, and did your parents allow you to get it?
Okay, so my first social media account was Facebook, and I was 12 when I got it. And at the time, you actually had to be 16. So the only reason I wanted it was because I wanted to play a game called Petville, and I did, and then I've had it ever since. So that was my first one. But yeah, my parents were okay with it as long as it was purely to play Farmville and Petville. But I think my pet's dead now.
The same as me. So looking back, do you think you were too young for your first social media account? So 12, too young?
Not really, because at that age I didn't have anyone on my social media, that I wasn't using it to interact with people really until secondary school, because that's when everyone had it. So no, because I didn't have any friends on Facebook. I literally had like my mum.
Have you had any negative experiences with using social media?
Yeah, massively. So whenever there was an argument at school, it would all go onto social media. Yeah, just throughout my school life there were loads and loads of issues through social media. Loads. Even at primary school actually, I had a really massive issue with a boy commenting really nasty comments on one of my profile pictures. So you had to take the comments and just go to my primary school and like say like being harassed.
Yeah, because my next question is, did you ever tell anyone about your negative experiences?
Yeah, no, because I had all my parents, I've got all my family on social media, so it's very open, so it's not even like you can't tell anyone because they can see it for themselves. It's on the internet. You can search my name and shit, stuff will come up.
Why do you think people wouldn't want to tell anyone about them?
I guess if you are being harassed, or if people are being really nasty online, then I guess they're just worried that it will continue or get worse. It's just the same as bullying, really.
And in the future, or maybe nearer to the present day, could you ever see yourself getting rid of your social media accounts?
I've thought about it in the past, where I feel as if I'm procrastinating a lot and I'm not doing my work, so I get annoyed at myself because I'll just be flicking through sort of like Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and then I'll just be like, wow, I still haven't done any work. So I have considered getting rid of Twitter a number of times, but no, I don't think I'll actually ever do it.
But my next question is, what age do you personally think teens nowadays should be allowed a social media account?
It's difficult really, because I think any age you put on it, it won't be like regarded. People are going to use them anyway. There's no real way of stopping people from doing it. So to be honest, it depends what the account is for. Yeah. But social media as a whole, you're exposed to a lot, so I think it's 16 personally.
Yeah. And my last question is, do you think this generation is addicted to social media? And if you think why, please say, or why not?
So I think we are 110% addicted to social media. It's really difficult because so many good things come from social media, but then again so many negative things do as well. And it's really interesting because there's a hormone that is actually released when we see our phone light up, or we see that someone's liked a post on Instagram or liked our photo. I can't exactly remember what the hormone is. Dopamine, that's it. And as soon as you see it, you're like, it just makes you happy. It's like endorphins. So the addiction is caused by that. So we have just become this generation of insanely vain people who are just constantly on Snapchat. Because I was actually looking at my phone today to see what app I use the most, and it's Snapchat. Really? I'm just constantly looking at myself in the camera, which is really unhealthy. And I think you get so used to how you're looking with like a filter or something, and then you see yourself in the mirror and you're not happy with the way you are or something like that. So it is really interesting, but yeah, we are 100% addicted.
So today we are joined by Chris Fenster, a creative media teacher at Henley College. So Chris, as a teacher, what ages have you previously taught?
I spent my first 2 years mainly teaching year 3, so about 7, 8, 9, and then I spent a year teaching at secondary, kind of all year groups, and now I'm at Henley College, so teaching kind of 16 to 18-ish.
So have you found that any particular age group that you've taught has been more sensitive to social media?
I think probably that kind of mid-teen, sort of year 10, that's where kind of most of the sort of like sensitive issues are with, like, you know, cyberbullying and that kind of thing.
In your own opinion, what is the right age to have a social media account?
I don't know, I think probably like Facebook you can't get an account until you're 13, and it's probably about right. I think it's good for sort of children to focus on actual social skills. I don't think it'd be particularly damaging for them to have access to social media, but I just think it's nice for people to actually know how to interact with each other.
And has this issue become worse in the last 4 years of your teaching?
In terms of sort of use of social media?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say so. I think it's kind of probably reached a point, maybe plateaued. It's obviously quite prolific now, and there are issues with it being kind of overused and over-focused on, but I wouldn't say it's kind of got worse while I've been teaching.
Would you agree though that teens take priority in their phones and social media over schoolwork?
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if they're not sat on their phones in lessons, they'll be spending time talking about the Snapchats that were going on last night or the dank memes that they found on Twitter.
Would you say that there is a particular age group that is known to be worse for this?
No, I think generally kind of, I mean, I'm even quite bad for it now, just kind of scrolling through Facebook when I'm bored. And you know, people that I hang out with annoy me because we'll be watching something and they're just on their phone, not actually paying attention. So I don't think it's limited to sort of teenagers or young people.
And finally, my last question is, do you think this generation is addicted to social media? And if so, is there anything that we can do to keep it at bay?
I think addicted is a strong word, but maybe kind of too heavily dependent on. But at the same time, as a teacher, I do see sort of people, you know, socialising at college and outside of college, that kind of thing. I don't know, I just think maybe less emphasis needs to be put on kind of the importance of things like Snapchat, and maybe a bit more education into the dangers of it, like sending inappropriate material and sort of the legal issues and kind of, you know, the kind of social issues that can be brought up by that, I suppose.
The statistics on screen show that from January 2017, there are 21% more social media users, bringing the total amount of active social media users to 482 million.
Here, right now, right here, right now.
So today I'm here with Holly Main and I'm going to ask her some questions on what she thinks about social media. So first of all, how old are you?
I'm 15 years old.
And do you attend a mixed gender school?
Yes.
Would you agree that social media is a big part of today?
Yes, I agree with that.
And how often would you say you spend on social media a day?
Roughly 6 hours a day.
Would you say you're obsessed with social media? And how do you feel about that?
No, I wouldn't say I'm obsessed with it. Like, I like to spend a lot of time on it to talk to friends, but I do have hobbies outside of school, so that keeps me active.
Do you think that today's generation, though, is quite obsessed with social media?
I would say that some people are very obsessed with it. They take their phone everywhere with them.
Yeah.
And then other people not so much.
Do you like how public everything is on social media?
No. Some things that are put on social media of me, I might not post myself. So if someone just takes a random picture of me and puts it on Snapchat or something, I might not like it because I wouldn't personally put that myself.
Yeah. if you could change something about today's social media, what would it be?
I would say that social media would stop people posting inappropriate things because that can get people in a lot of trouble.
Have you met any new people through social media?
Yes, I've met people from different schools who I'm haven't met up with, but I know who they are through friends, and I can talk to them on a daily basis.
And my last question is, have you had any particular positive or negative experiences through social media, and if so, what were they?
I haven't had any negative experiences that are really bad, but I would say that sometimes arguments with your friends on social media would escalate further than if they would in person. So I would say that's kind of a bad issue.
Any positive?
I've had a lot of positive experiences, so I've met a lot of people through social media who I might not have met in life.
Yeah.
Right here, right now, 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 right here, right now.
So today we've come to Bracknell to speak to Fred and Pauline about what they think about social media. So my first question is, do either of you have any social media accounts?
No.
No. Do you have a mobile phone?
Yes, both of us.
How often do you use your phone a day and what for?
Well, I have mine on all day, every day, and I have it on basically so my granddaughter and my daughter can get hold of me when they're in trouble.
Yeah.
And I get phone calls from or texts from the hospital and things like that, and the doctors, all those sort of people.
And just confirm your appointments.
Oh, okay. So just to
I
make calls.
don't use mine. I have whatever Fred gives up. I have his old one.
Oh, right.
Yes, the latest.
Okay. Do you agree that today's generation is obsessed with social media?
Definitely.
Definitely, yes.
So why?
I expect we seem quite ancient because we didn't get our first television until 1964, and the phone was about 1964, and the reason was nobody could get hold of anyone. You went on in the phone box, which there's very few now that are working order.
Yeah.
And the reason was my mother had come to see us, and not having a phone, and we couldn't receive a phone call from her. She came down, and she came as like going from here to London to come to see us. She was a bit upset, and we'd gone out, and there was no way of her telling us. And she'd come all that way and had to turn around and go all the way back, and we got the phone after that, didn't we? And that was about 1964 because
65,
because you know, it's so awkward because up to then we used to use the phone box.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think, because of what you just said, social media can be used in a positive way?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
definitely, yes.
Yes.
I do think you youngsters, unless you've got a phone or laptop or something in front of you, you're lost, aren't you?
Yeah. How has social media and technology changed in your eyes throughout the generations?
It's gone on in leaps and bounds. I mean, if you take the television reception, I mean, when we started off, we had a black and white television, and you people think,
Yeah.
Actually,
We don't
and we
watch
didn't have a
stuff like
telly,
that.
as I said,
No.
we didn't have a television until 1964.
Gosh, yeah. Do you think since social media has evolved, it has affected public too much?
yes,
Yes, especially in this last concern we've had Monday. There was people that were phoning, pretending they'd got people involved in the accident just to find out more. It may have been the reporters even pretending to be like when
Distressed
Facebook,
parents.
distressed parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your overall opinion on social media?
there's too much of it, and it's too constant. It is 24 hours a day. I mean, when you get the President of the United States sending Twitters out in the middle of the night, it's
Yeah.
gone too far.
Yeah, you shouldn't have a Twitter account.
Bye.
My last question is, if you could change one thing about social media, what would it be?
Restrict it to, let's say, 10 hours a day.
Okay.
And I'm quite concerned that all the youngsters that go on Facebook, etc., and tell all their details. Everybody knows everything about them, which I think is very dangerous.
Yeah.
And this is leading to a lot of this child grooming.
Yeah, so privacy
Yeah.
and
And also with the banks, that people are being scammed on the banks and they get into their bank accounts. And I think this is really worrying. It's caused a lot of problems.
yeah,
Computers, etc. They know they can find quite a lot about you.
yeah.
So is our generation too obsessed, or is this just the new way of connecting? Only time will tell.
Right here, right now, right here,